hello, 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 Turtle Fam. Akwaba, Karibu, bienvenue, 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 bienvenue. You welcome to your channel. Well, today we're back again with another review for our Showmentary, for our favorite show right now on TV network. Put a ring on it, season 3, episode 5, double your pleasure. So, the show picks up right where it left off last week. I mean, this show this week, it was pretty good. Two couple were tripping in particular. Everybody was tripping, but two really stood out this week. Literally, we're going to talk about most of the time with the athletic couple, which is Charlana and Otis, and who are called the opposite attract couple, who is Kenneth and Shorty. So, first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. I'd like to say thank you for everybody who has been watching my videos and subscribing, leaving me a comment and a like, and also hitting the bell for the notification. It means a lot to me. It's nothing to you, it's free. Don't forget to subscribe. It really means the world to me, and it also encourages me to keep on going. Okay, for those of you be rocking with me from the beginning, I thank you. For those who are new, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you think about the channel, because I do this for y'all. This is your channel. So let's get down to it. So the show started where it ended last week with the fight between Shay and Alfonso's date. I think her name was Tashiri. Tashiri, right? I think it was just a stupid fight. I think Shay was looking for anything beyond the sun just to comfort old girl, because it was obvious that she was jealous. She didn't want to see anybody with a man, right? So it started with a verbal argument, and then it quickly escalated to almost a fight because they were about to face each other. And then, side note, did you notice how Asa or Asha, her date, jumping real quick between the two of them, like even before security, and I think one of the producers as well. I mean, the whole thing was just crazy. And then I think Fonzo dragged her off, and then they walked away, and she was still acting mad at the end. I mean, just a stupid argument. It was just very unnecessary. So from there, they went home, and the next time we see her is when she has a one-on-one with Dr. Nicole about obviously the fight, and then we find out more information about why she feels so insecure in a relationship and about the infidelity issues and so forth and so on. Actually, I would say that Shay is a bit lost in this relationship, and the problem is because there is no progression. It's almost a state of stagnation, because the same issue that she was having before she left Alfonso, because we found out that she left him for 2 months, those issues were not resolved when she got back with him. Clearly, it was the not introducing her to the family, him talking to other women, flirting with women on social media. The biggest one is that they got engaged and there was still no marriage. So she explained the story where they actually went to get married the next day after they had a fight with the girl that posted a picture online saying that she was in love with Alfonso, which she tried to downplay again because he downplays everything. So she still went ahead and get married with him. I would have been like, hell to the no. Like, I can argue with you the night before and still marry you the next day. To me, that's a red flag right there. Like, I just won't do it, especially if it's something as big as this, like it's a deal breaker, right? But to Alfonso's defense, I'll also say he cannot control what other people do and post. But I think his mistake was he should have reassured this lady. And that's the biggest problem. He doesn't reassure her, and he doesn't give her like honest, straightforward answers, you know? So they went to the registry office, I guess, to get married, and then they realized that they didn't have the correct paperwork. So it was a marriage without a marriage because the marriage wasn't legal. And now she's still in the same position with the same problems, a bunch of arguments, like she said herself, and still engaged. So Dr. Nicole told her that she needs to give Alfonso space and try to be less controlling and let him make his own decision and see if the decision that he makes actually includes her and if it's what she also wants without always trying to control the narrative. And she's kind of like, she realized that she's scared of that because she's scared of what the outcome will be. And she keeps saying this time, well, this time is real because she's going to leave. And but I was like, girl, you've been left. Like you left already and then you came back. So what's so different about this time? That's also the danger of relationship like that. When you start that cycle of leaving and coming back, it ends up into a waste of time, and usually it doesn't really solve the issue. It just makes it worse. And I think that's where she is. She's in that cycle and she needs to get herself out of it. I think she knows that she needs to leave him, but deep down she feels like deep down she doesn't want to leave him because she wants it to work so bad because of the time she invested. So it's a tough position that most women find themselves in, but I think she should just leave him and start afresh with someone new, you know. So we talked about Shay and Alfonso, and I think they're also, after we see them later on at the group session, but we don't really discuss their case at the group session because that happens in the next episode because that's where this episode ended. Do you see this week I'm doing it a bit differently, y'all? I'm going couple per couple per couple per couple. So I don't have to like jump, come back. And there was also a scene where I found it strange that Alfonso was giving advice to the guys when they got together for like a guys' night out. I was just like, bro, your situation is not great. You have major issues in your relationship. You're trying to sort yourself out. Just because you're older doesn't mean you can give advice to these youngsters. Like, he was just giving advice to Kenneth, like Kenneth needs to get his shit together and all that stuff. And I'm like, excuse me, but you ain't got your shit together. The fact that Kenneth is taking that advice as well is just hilarious to me. Like, no way. So the second couple for this week, where we talked about at yeah, the second couple for this week that didn't get a chance to go on a date last week because we didn't show the date, but they're going on this week. The double date is Shorty and Kenneth. So I love to call them my opposite attract couple, right? So they go on the double date. They kind of go. They go to grab something to eat with some drinks in the same spot. So her date is Tavi. Tavi. His name is Tavi. He's a cute guy. He's a business owner. He's in the gym business. He just moved to Atlanta to open another gym with his co-partner, and he seems to be pretty successful. He also seems to be um, polite and all that. I think he mentioned he has children, and straight away she was feeling attracted by him, at least physically attractive. She liked what she saw, so there were flirty vibes almost straight away flying between them. And I think she would definitely see him again because she was very excited to see him. It seems like a good catch. Like that's what she's looking for. She wants someone who has their basically their shit together, and Kenneth doesn't, and someone mature who can handle the finances, who can handle his emotions, can handle her emotion, we can take accountability and be mature. Basically, a man. So when he came to the house, Kenneth was trying to play it cool. They had a few things in common. Did you see how you tried to shade him like, you're a bit too short to be a receiver? And I'm like, come on, Kenneth. Like, he always tried to big himself up in front of her dates, which I understand because he's jealous and he's the boyfriend and he's trying to assert his territory. But at the same time, like he doesn't realize by doing that is really showing his insecurities. Like her, she's always been cool. I like the fact that she's always cool and she's always mature. Like I really like her, like her character, attitude, and her personality. I think she's cool. So they go on their date first and they have drinks and the atmosphere was pretty chilled. And then we found out who Kenneth date is. Her name, I think, is Chantrell. Straight away, when I saw her, I was like, when she started to talk to him, I was like, very strange girl. The way she was acting was a bit weird. She was very, for me, she came across very forceful, very strong in a flirtatious game. Like she gave me a negative vibe because straight away she took on for him, and it's just like, I'm like, girl, you don't know what's going on in this relationship. Like, she was doing way too much, way too much for somebody she just met. So we found out that she just came out of a heavy relationship, so it doesn't look like she's looking for something serious, but she seems to really like him. And Kenneth wasn't really that into her, and we do find out why later. So the date went well for Shorty and Tavi, but not so much for Kenneth and Chantal because they were very bothered by Shorty's and Tavi's date. Like they kept looking in their direction, they kept making, both of them were making comments, and then Chantal was side eyeing Shorty. Why? I don't know. Like, you don't know the girl like that, like that. But in the end, they left, so it was really awkward. Clearly, that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. Like this double date, at least on Kenneth's side, was a failure. He really couldn't contain his emotion. Like you could see on his face, he was mad. He kept saying, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool." But you can really see it wasn't cool. Like if it was that cool when you walked in and he saw her there, he saw Shorty on the couch, he could have at least like say hello, like acknowledge her. Like he totally just ignore her and just walk past. Like, but then he couldn't stop talking about them when he was on the couch. So yeah, all girl Chantrell trying too hard. I don't think he's gonna see her again. I think it was just for that. They were cool and everything. He even says it when they go for the when they do go for the group session with Dr. Nicole that he will see her as a friend, as a homie to hang out with, but not feel romantic. But we talk about the group session a bit more later. So yeah, actually we talk about it now since I'm doing couple by couple. So when I go to the group session, let me tell you something. That group session for me was everything this week. It was everything. Like it was so dramatic. Like when Shorty started to spill the beans on Kenneth, I almost fell off my chairs. Like I sat down, I clutched my pearls, I crossed my toes, my fingers, and I was like, girl, she came ready. Like she was ready. She ready. She was ready, like in my Tiffany Haddish voice. She ready. Like I was not expecting that. So they started with actually Kenneth and Shorty. Asked them how the date went. Already explained, it was pretty cool on both sides. More on Shorty's side because she was scared with that, and I think she's definitely going to see Tavi again. Kenneth, he said no, like she's cool and everything, but not on the romantic side for Chantrell. And then Shorty took over and was like, yeah, she's not surprised because that's not really his type because Kenneth is attracted to women that are out of his league. I'm like, huh? Yeah, women who are extremely very attractive, who have their stuff together, and these women tend to be very picky. Dr. Nicole's face was like, hmm? Like, really? So, and she asked her, the kind of woman like you? And she was, yeah, kind of woman like me. And he always goes beyond his legs, and that's what he like. And then when we met, he lied to me. He wasn't honest. Like he told me things that were not true. He embellished his career, his financial situation, his maturity level. Like, and I found when I found out I was already in love. I was like, girl, even if when you find out but when you find out that was your cue to leave, just because you're in love don't mean nothing. Because this ain't gonna be long term. Like at some point this gonna bother you. So when you find out, you would have been like to the left, straight up. But she stayed. So Dr. Nicole asked her, "You staying because you left your aspirations, your ambitions and stuff?" She said, "No, I just delayed it for him." I'm like, "You can't make this stuff up. Why are you delaying your stuff for this man? You can't delay. Like, look, ambitions, money, time waits for no man. If that was a man, He won't delay anything for you, girl. So why are you doing this for him? Yeah, she needs to move on. I feel like she's using this show to tell him indirectly that this is over, but he's not getting the message. And at some point, she's just gonna have to sit him down and tell him it's over. And maybe pack her things when he's not home and move somewhere where he will never see her again. Because Kenneth struck me as the type of person that you don't want to break up with him face to face, or you don't want to, there's no need for closure or that type of discussion. Like, you literally have to already be out of it physically and then let him know. I told you before because he gave me fatal attraction vibes. Like, I'm scared for her. So I don't think she should do this face to face, to be honest. So, yeah, she let it rip. Like, she totally let it rip. And you should see the other couple's face. Like, Shay's face and Fonzo and Charlana. Was like, they were giving all kind of memes. Like, what? Can't believe she did this. And Otis even went in the confessional, was like, she totally destroyed him, like, and in front of everybody. You know, that tells me that one, she had enough, and two, she ready to go, and three, she's telling him it directly, indirectly, like she don't want him, she don't want him, she don't want him, she don't want him, but he doesn't get the message. Because if she still cared about this relationship, she won't do this in public. At least she will keep that part in private. You know what I mean? So you could see on his face that Kenneth was really hurt. At some point, he couldn't even put he took his arm, he couldn't even put his arm around her anymore. He had to like close up. His body language really changed, his face changed. He was somewhat embarrassed. Listen, there is no harm for men to be ambitious in relationships as well as in career wise, but you can't lie to people. You can't just be deceitful, especially when you start a new relationship. It's just not right. He should have been honest. He should have presented himself the way he is and let her or any other woman accept him for the way he is. So he needs to believe more in himself and act more like a man. I mean, he's a dad, and we just found out in this episode he doesn't have one kid, but he has two. So when is he going to take? He's a whole daddy. How many children has he got? One or two? But I know he's definitely a dad. So he needs to take responsibility for his action, more accountability, be honest, transparent, present himself like this is me, like take it or leave it. He needs to have that confidence. It's fine to go for women who are above your pay grade, but you need to let them know what you're really about so they can make the decision whether they want to rock with you or not. Yeah, so, but there was a point where I felt sorry for him, but I was like, it's wrong. Shouldn't really have done it. So, and then the third couple of this episode is the athletic couple. So we're talking about Charlana and Otis. So Charlana and Otis actually they had a double date last week with Brent and DJ Milan. So we found out at the group session what's the outcome for it. And we didn't even get to talk about Brent much because everything was overshadowed by what Otis did after the date. Basically, once again, he downplayed his attraction to Milan, but he admitted in front of everybody, in front of us, in front of millions of viewers, and in front of his own girlfriend, that he's been DMing Milan on the low. And he puts it on the account where, yeah, it's no big deal because they have common friends and stuff, but they did have a rule in place with Charlena that they cannot message the date, especially outside of the date. No messages. But he doesn't count that as messaging. Hello, do you count this as messaging, you people? DMing, isn't that a message? But anywho, so Charlena lost it. Listen, when I say she lost it, she couldn't take it. She was really upset. I could tell she was really upset, and she was really trying to contain herself not to swear because she's aware she's on national TV. So, but she was upset. He lied to her. She called him a monster, make him look like He really disrespected her. You know, Otis is just a double-faced, hypocritical, narcissistic liar. You know, and Charlena needs to get the hell on. She needs to get the hell on and get to know Brent and see where that goes. Or she just need to get the hell on and be by herself. I feel like she can do it. She's strong enough. She seems very strong to me. You know, and she did say that's a deal breaker. So I hope she holds him accountable for it, and I hope she doesn't change her mind, and I hope that she leaves him in the end. Like, Charlie and a girl, don't bother going to his DM to DM Milan. Like, don't put yourself down to their level. Literally, like, exit to the left and call Brent. That's what I do, you know. So next week we found out what happens, because after she got upset, she asked Dr. Nicole to leave. She asked him for his keys. They got into a little bit argument. She couldn't even continue to listen to what's happened this week with Fonzo and Shay. Like, literally, she got a key, stormed out of there, and left. So we found out more about next week. So what did you think about this week episode? Did you think that Charlena was right to get upset, or it wasn't a big deal? Do you think that she should definitely leave Alfonso? And do you think that uh do you think that old girl Shorty should have let it rip like the way she did on national TV? Okay. Well, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe as well, and hit that bell so you know what's up next time. It will definitely mean the world to me. You have no idea. Help us get more subscribers, because it's a channel that would encourage me to put up more videos. Okay? See you next time. I love you, Jerry.